Hi, it is iYikKam time again. So after I share the video on Wing Chun development in the scientific platform, I received many questions in the past 24 hours. And there are three questions which is among those categories of questions which is really interesting. So I like to share with you all, so things can get really clear what I'm trying to do, or what I'm doing, or what is the directions. Okay. The first question is, why am I rock the boat of the Wing Chun community with the scientific impulse momentum theorem and the evidence from Shaolin and so forth? Well, let me tell you the stories in Silicon Valley. Any good corporations in the Silicon Valley, it need to rock the boat to get things done, or to improve things, or to make adjustment, corrections, or the directions. Okay. I have known that good CEOs even go down, sit beside the design engineer, ask him to fix certain things. Sit there, the CEO, sit there, okay, to get the design engineer to fix it before he leaves. If the design engineer don't fix it, the CEO is going to sit on there until the thing fixed. And you can see many CEOs, including Henry Ford and so forth, when they want to really do something proper, they go even work in the factory, okay, to get the thing done. Well, a corporation is a complicated place. Everybody like to live comfortably. So for example, if the CEO say we need to do this way, and you can see many VPs and so forth will not like that. Because why? Because they might not be able to live comfortably while the CEO is thinking for everybody, and some VPs or director or whoever might thinking on for themselves only. Okay. So in the valley, if you want to get things done, you need to rock it. And the reason why the Silicon Valley keeping progress, getting better thing out, that is the way how to do it, because that is how human society, human corporation need to be run. And Wing Chun for me is like a big corporations. If you care for every employee in the corporations, if you care for the stocks price have to rise, not only for yourself, then one need to say what it needs to say for everybody. It's called public-minded. Well, sometimes you take a loss to say something like that. Okay? But in the long run, everybody gain. Because good stuff, which is benefit everybody, we all will benefit from it. So actually it is not me rock the boat. It is certain thing need to be known. Time have changed, things have changed. Okay? So I hope that you're clear on this thing. It's not that I like to make enemy of everybody. Actually I don't. I like to be friend with everybody too. However, there are certain things, if we don't change, in the corporate analogy, the whole corporate will go down. How many family do you think will lose their bread in the table, the food in the table? Okay, Wing Chun is like that, no different than that. So I'm one of the 4 million Wing Chuners. It is all our duties of all Wing Chuners to do the right thing. Okay? So it's not me exclusive. and that is also named as public-minded. Okay, because we care. If we don't care, we just can go from one corporation to go another corporation, maybe even make more money because we know this secret. But we don't. We just say, hey, we need to change so everybody become better, right? Okay. Number 2 question is, a few friends have been sending me some posts and so forth, and so asking me, am I sure that it is not political that I, Hendrik, saying that or White Crane is not the main core of Wing Chun, and Mei's is not Wing Chun, White Crane is not Wing Chun? Is that real or it is political? Well, I like to share with you this. Okay. Number 1, the entire world know I'm the first one who come up with this, who found out this Mei connections. And by 1980s, when I was in Iowa State, there are plenty of college students who helping me doing research in Mei and so forth. And Russell Chung even later on go visit Mei Grandmaster to check things out and so forth. Okay, and I base things on the past, what do you call it? The gatekeeper of Mei, the person who is really scientific, who brought the Mei's to the public. Before him, it is closed door stuff. So this is the person who is really scientific, and he bring the Mei to the public. Okay, Mr. Zhou Qianchuan. Okay, and also in the White Crane Fujian, I bring out the Zhao Yang of Shilim Tao, is actually from Fujian. Now, however, this doesn't solve the Wing Chun core issue. It doesn't solve. It solves the subordinate issue. Okay? The core of Wing Chun is the Shaolin short strike. Okay? So it has to follow the 1784 and the Qi Ji Guang, because there's a line down that is real in Chinese history, in the real fighting art, real deal can use for war. Okay? Now, so if you notice, what I'm doing is common denominator. I take all the common denominator. So the common denominator is like highway, okay? It's not going to some kind of local street. It's a common denominator, okay? That is what I base on, okay? And my agenda is simple, one thing, educations, okay? Educations. And the second thing is, I like it to be Silicon Valley mass production, high quality, great. Because only that way, all the customer, the consumer will benefit. So they can have low cost, high quality product. Okay? So that's why you can see lately I put everything, map it into the scientific platform, because in order to do a Silicon Valley type of mass production, low price, high quality product, one need to be scientific based. Okay? So that's how simple it is. It's everybody, for everybody. So everybody can learn Wing Chun. Okay? Now, speaking of that, different people have different agenda. Some's agenda is to promote themselves as a grandmaster. Some is to promote their lineage. Some is to promote their school. Well, different people have different agenda. And as I clearly tell you, my agenda is education and mass production, high quality, low price, everybody can affordable, high, excellent Wing Chun product. And I'm not going to go to those for putting me as some kinds of grandmaster or promote my lineage, okay, or starting another school, those kind of stuff. I'm not onto it. And actually it's very simple. If you track the the track record for a few years, you can see from his action what is really do. That's simple. And also there's a problem in the Chinese culture, in martial arts, which we know. It is very easy to make a code. For example, if somebody is put on the pedestal as a grandmaster, then everybody go bow at that person, and whatever he said is a grandmaster. No, whatever he said from this grandmaster is the truth. And I don't do that. I base on science, okay? And actually, if you go study Zen Buddhism, Chan, and the real Chinese culture, it is not that either, okay? It is not that. All the patriarch and the scholar like Nan Huaijing, they don't go for that. They go for really democratic, rule by law, not rule by people. That's why in Buddhism it's saying this: 依法不依人. You follow the Dharma, you don't follow the people. Okay? Wing Chun is what? A Buddhist art from Shaolin. I follow what the teaching of the Buddhism. Follow the Dharma, not follow the people. And in this era, the best value reference for everybody is, if you want to sell a product, you present a high quality, low price product so every people can afford it and can benefit from it. That is the bottom line. Okay? So with all those lineages and all those gurus, or this guru, that guru, I respect whoever really have the attainment, but I respect them on their field only. I don't make them God. And the bottom line is the science and the technology. Okay, it's like in the big corporation in Silicon Valley. There are many gurus in design. We respect them, but we don't take them as God. The CEO, CTO, VP of engineering, we respect them, but we don't take them as God. Because what we want is a good product, which is low cost, low price, and everybody can afford, and it is high quality. Okay? And also I can tell you this: Chinese culture is not what you read on the books where it get translated to the West. If you understand what like people like this Nan Huaijing and all this Zhou Qianchuan, Ma Li Tang, all these people who is in the 1950s and already over there very well established, they are really scientific. They are really ruled by a lot of people. Okay, if you look at how Ma Li Tang, the one of the top Qigong and Chinese martial artists, when he do healing in the Qigong, you always can see that he is using Western medicine and Chinese medicine in parallel to monitor the Qigong practice. Same with Zhou Qianchuan. Okay? And you can see that it's very easy that after his generations, he often like this. The student will make their teacher, like make Zhou Qianchuan or make Ma Li Tang as God. And then they take on as the middleman of the God. So whatever they say is the truth. And then that is where you see cult coming in, and the family break into 5 people. 5 people talk different things, even from the same teacher. Oh, there's a mess there. That's why I never like to get into that. I want to see what the real grandmaster, the expert, talk about in the scientific way. We use it. We respect him, but we don't go and say, hey, you know, I'm a such and such student, so I, you know, like I'm the middleman of the God. Forget about it. Okay, this is the high-tech era. People don't do that. That's why we can produce millions of cell phones or billions of electronic gadgets. It's not sitting in the cold like in the village of the old China anymore. Preaching something like some kind of savior, but actually it is empty. Okay, and also the bringing up of this impulse momentum theorem, that actually become the tools of identify what is the characteristic of different style, as I put on the other videos in the Wing Chun development in the scientific platform. Today we can do that, okay, because every style have its characteristic and is bound. There's a boundary there. For example, your Wing Chun is a short strike art and is bound in here, and it is bound in a certain mechanics. You know it. And if you have some kind of long fierce, then it is bound in that characteristics and the mechanics. You know there's a certain specific mechanics there. So with the impulse momentum theorem, we can scientifically identify what is what. Is that making any sense at all? Okay. So today I can tell you this: the 6-13-3, namely the physical body, the mind, the breathing, the chi channel flow, the force flow, the momentum, all this can be tested and examined with scientific instruments, okay, and can be predicted. Your body, you can measure the skin resistance, and you can measure the stress of the muscle and those kind of things, okay, or your skin temperature and so forth. Your mind, you can put on the brainwave machine. Your breathing, you can measure the breathing capacity. You can measure the repetitions. That is the bottom line 3 elements: the physical, the mind, and the breathing. You know it. Nobody can bullshit you. So you talk about the chi flow, the 4th element. You just measure the first 3. You can predict whether he can be able to get into that or not. Because when anybody have real qigong, for example, they stand in Zhanzhuang, the body will feel like vanish, really lightweight. And you can record the physical data, the brainwave, the breathing. You know it, okay? And for the strength or the force flow and the momentum, you can measure the angular velocity or the angular momentum, the accelerations. You can predict it with the impulse momentum theorem. So the 6-13-3. But today, every item can be scientifically tested and measured. So again, as what I say, that I want it to be Silicon Valley great mass production, great type of low cost, low price, high quality, high effective, high efficiency, because we can actually measure it. 613.3, yes, go to the lab, we can measure it. So there is no room more for those who claim they have internal art, qi. No room for that. Or jing, or xing, qi and jing. Well, you know what? Get into the lab, measure it. The 6 core elements, 613.3, measure the thing. The data, let the data sit. That's how far we have today. So nobody can really bullshit on things anymore. With this thing today we have. Okay? I just tell you how to measure them, how to practice them. Okay? And so, as for the impulse momentum theorem, it is important. Why? Because fighting is an exchange of momentum, meaning there is a dealing with the impulse. Either you generate it or you handle it. Okay? Now, do you rather to stand there and practice this for 5 hours slowly using your mind power, or practice like the Tai Chi type of Wing Chun, Fa Jing, Xing Qi, or you practice this? To generate the impulse, handling the release time, and be able to have high capacity breathing, which is supporting the impulse momentum handling in the short strike range. Okay? You want that? Wing Chun? Or you want the slowly do it 2 hours? God knows whether you're breathing going down or you're going to go Fa Jing, sinking qi. Which one is real? Per General Qi Ji Guang, who is saying that fighting is an exchange of momentum. You map into the physics is a impulse momentum theorem handling. So which is real? And we know Wing Chun is here. Thereby, the force handling, the momentum handling, or the impulse generation is here. It is not here. It is not here. It is not this. It is here. Okay? So that is how scientific it can get. The last questions our friend asked me is about MMA and Wing Chun. Okay? And Wing Chun is not MMA. And Wing Chun have another part which is really important, which MMA doesn't have. And that is the health part. Face it, not everybody can do MMA. I cannot do MMA. Why? I was born with diabetic type 1. I cannot do it. And there are many people who have high blood pressure or the older and so forth. You cannot get it. You cannot do it. Sure, when I was young, I was participate in Kyokushin, body is strong, and I can handle this body and so forth. But now 60 years or almost, can I do that? No way. So Wing Chun have that part, which is I call the 2C part, where you can get your breathing to low abs and is supporting your entire body which is to promote health. As the Chinese say, internally you train that mouthful of breath. Okay, you know that you have high capacity in breathing or oxygen. It's going to help your body and so forth, right? So that is a part where sport and MMA doesn't have. That is the part. If I don't die, I can do Wing Chun until 80 years old because Wing Chun have this thing. Okay? And everybody have limitations in their physical. Or some people is more lucky, they born healthy and so forth. But like me, there are many people who is not as lucky. Okay? So Wing Chun have that part. And Xiu Lim Tao had that part of training. So Wing Chun have two parts of training. One is the momentum, the impulse and all this handling. Another part, the first four core elements, the body, the mind, the breathing, the chi flow, that can promote, support health. So just tell you really what happened to me recently in Southeast Asia. So I was visiting Southeast Asia, and because I ate something not proper for me, for my body, since I live in US so long, I get the diarrhea for a few days until I go to the hospital. Okay. However, in that time, I have made appointment to meet with certain different people, different martial art people, martial art group. I still go. Well, body is really weak. You know, imagine you have go to the restroom for 7-8 times a day. You cannot eat much. It's kind of weak. Well, I still be able to do all this impulse handling. I show the friends there. This is what Wing Chun is like in the short strike and so forth. Okay, we have an exchange. What's a different thing? It doesn't mean that I'm guru or anything, but have the exchange. And everybody know that I have a diarrhea and pretty weak, but I still can do that. 45 seconds, I have no problem with that. Can I do it for like usually like half an hour? No, I cannot. 45 seconds, 1 minute, I can do that. Okay. So the reason I tell you this is because even my body is weak. That kung fu of handling, or the development of handling the impulse momentum is still there. You can use it, but it cannot last too long because it require body energy. So Wing Chun have both parts. Okay. So this is what I'd like to share with you today. Hopefully things is more and more clear. It is true that today we have a Silicon Valley grade or Silicon Valley mass production grade of Wing Chun because we can map everything into scientific base already. We can use physics, we can use medical instrument to know where are you in the 6-13-3. We know. So there is no BS of saying that, well, I'm the grandmaster. Well, good, go check it. Using the instrument to see. You have internal power, let's see it. You say that you have this Qi and Jing, let's say it. See how much inputs you can generate and how fast you can release it within that range. If the Wing Chun, it is a 12, it is a 12. Okay? It is not a Tai Chi, it's not a Ngo Zhou, it's not a white crane. Because, as what I said, the Wing Chun is actually bound by its characteristics. There's a boundary there, and there are certain mechanics to satisfy whatever need to work within that boundary. Okay? And for Wing Chuner, we don't have to work to death. Okay, just to fighting. We need to be able to take care of this body too. Because not everybody can be best fighter. Face it. And even the best fighter at the young age might not be a best fighter in the old age, because we are human. And another thing, the last thing I want to give my message to every Wing Chuners is that if you have any preconditions, if you have you are recovering from any preconditions, take care of your body. Okay, impulse momentum theorem, we know what it is in scientific, we can learn that, there's no problem. But don't get into I'm the best fighter, I need to prove that. Don't. Take care of the body, because this body is more important than that. And that's why the Wing Chun ancestors have that part. Okay, Buddhist art meaning that strengthen the body and self-defense. So this is to share with you today.